Well, good morning, YouTube, and welcome back to Everything RV with Dave. I'm back home, and I'm going to do something today. I've been doing some maintenance on my Ford F150. It's a 2015. I changed the rear differential fluid. Wanted to look at the gears because, I do pull the RV. And it looked real good. The oil was not that dirty. There were just a little bit of it's not metal shavings. It was more like a dust that was collected on the magnet. I cleaned it all up, cleaned out the casing, put fresh oil in it, and that seems to be working real well. So I got to thinking about the transmission. I've got 81,000 miles on my 15 F150. When I first bought the vehicle, I had 13,000 miles on it. And they had some problems. So they thought it was a transmission, so they pulled the transmission and they put a bearing in that they thought might have been bad, but it wasn't. But I got a new updated bearing. So I don't know if they changed the transmission fluid then or not. I don't know. So I wanted to check it out. So I got underneath the truck, and that's the only way on these Ford F-150s, on the newer vehicles, that you can check the transmission fluid. There's no dipstick. The dipstick is actually sitting right in the transmission, and let me show you what it looks like. Okay, I'm underneath the vehicle right now, and this is what the dipstick actually looks like. And this comes out, and that's your actual dipstick, and it goes into there, and it is right up here to the front of your transmission. Clear up at the top is where this screws into. So it actually fits like this, down into the top of that transmission. Now, I went ahead and went to Harbor Freight, and I bought myself this little pump. It was on sale for $7.50, and I'm using it right now. And if you can take a look, I've got half a gallon. I've got 2 quarts that I've been able to pull out of the transmission. I believe this pan will hold, I believe it's 4 quarts. It might be a little bit more than 4, so I've got 5 quarts right now. Now, I've watched a lot of videos on transmission fluid and Fords, and what Ford recommends is Mercon LV for my 2015 Ford F-150. The LV stands for, it's a lighter viscosity. It's not as thick. I looked at Mercon. It's a little bit more expensive. What's readily available that says it's for Mercon is Valvoline Max Life multi-vehicle fluid. Let me show you what I'm going to put into my Ford F-150. So here you go. It's Valvoline Max Life multi-vehicle automatic transmission fluid, and right down there it says Dextron, Micron, and the V and the LV. So I watched a video which showed the velocity of the Valvoline to the Mercon and draining out of a container. They measured it, and actually the Valvoline was a little bit quicker to empty. So the bottom line is I think this will be just fine. I've seen some videos, where a lot of people are putting this into their Fords, and it's readily available at Walmart. And right now it was like $25 for a gallon. What I'm going to do is go ahead and get 4 or 5 quarts out and wait about a few thousand miles, take another 4 or 5 quarts out. I don't want to do a flush. Half of the fluid is going to be kept in the work converter. So I think we've got 13 quarts is the total amount that my vehicle holds. So, you know, within 2 or 3 times, I'll do it, and I'll get most of the bad fluid out. So what I did with the old oils, I took a magic marker and just made a mark at the bottom of the magic marker is where the line of the old fluid is. I'm going to empty this out, and then I'm going to fill it up to that line with the new fluid. And that way I'm not putting back any more than what I took out. After I get all this done and get it up to temperature, I will check it and see if I have to add some more. But that's what I'm going to do. Let me go ahead and empty this out, get it cleaned up, and put the fresh oil in. Well, there you go. I got almost all of it back into the transmission from where I made that mark. I've got the truck running right now, trying to bring it up to temperature. I've checked the level, and it's right where it needs to be. On that dipstick, there's an A and a B, and there's hash marks, and it's supposed to be right in the middle between the A and the B. So they want you to get up to 212 degrees, but because I've got a transmission cooler on my truck, it's hard to get it over 128 degrees. So, you know, I've checked it, and when it's running, it's right where it's supposed to be. I'm going to leave it like this for a while, and then I'm going to change it again. I put 1 gallon in, so the next time I'll put it, take a gallon out, put another gallon in, and after the 3rd time, I should have pretty decent transmission fluid. Now, I'm going to show you again what I used. There's the Harbor Freight, and it worked just as well. Putting the fluid in as it was taking it out. So I would say as a job, if you're a little bit handy, not that difficult. It took me about half an hour to get it done. A little bit longer because I was doing the video, but you know, it's really not that difficult. It's a 19 millimeter to take the bolt out. When you're putting it back together and checking it with the truck running, make sure that you don't touch the catalytic converter. It's right there, and it gets pretty hot. So if you do enjoy these little videos to try to help you out on how to do different things, reach down there in the right-hand corner and hit the subscribe. Give me a like, give me a comment. I'm not a professional a mechanic, but I sure like to take things apart and put them back together. So I will see you on my next video.